My name is John Herbst. I run the Eurasia Center here at the Atlantic Council. We are honored this morning to have with us Minister Bakyt Sydykov, who's the Minister of Economy and Commerce in Kyrgyzstan, who before that, he had that job since December of 2024, and before that, he led the Department of Political and Economic Research of the Office of the President of Kyrgyzstan. And he also represented the President on the Supervisory Board of the Community Development and Investment Agency of the Kyrgyz Republic. So, Mr. Minister, welcome. It's a great honor for us to have you. And we have 30 minutes for a conversation. And I apologize to the audience, but given the short amount of time, we're not doing audience questions. So, Mr. Minister, Kyrgyzstan's recent economic growth has been substantial. The IMF estimates 2025 GDP at 21.5 billion, up from 8.3 billion in 2020, according to current prices. While the World Bank estimates nominal GDP growth at 9% as recently as 2024. Could you briefly describe to us, to the audience, Kyrgyzstan's economic growth trajectory in recent years and the drivers of it, the reasons for it?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Good morning. Yes, you are right. The country managed actually over the last 3 to 4 years double its nominal GDP. Yes, it has grown from nearly 8.5 or 3 billion US dollars to more than nearly to 22 billion US dollars in 2025. It also led or allowed the country, the GDP growth and expansion led triple the budget size of the country, which also facilitated launching the large-scale investment projects financed from the budget. We also managed to improve the situation with unemployment, the poverty rate. Put it simply, put it shortly, over the recent 4 years, the country has been growing on average at around 10% annually. What lies behind this growth, if we try to formulate it very shortly, I think the main reason, the main factor are the reforms that were undertaken in the public service, anti-corruption campaign, the program, specific measures to stimulate retaining the wealth, income within the country and channeling them into new investment projects domestically. So we had even wealth and income amnesty a few years ago that also just stimulated having domestic investment, wealth and income, keeping them within the country. It also, caused creation, new jobs, new production. So the list is quite long, but the shortest formulation is public sector reforms, anti-corruption campaigns and program, changing the mentality of public service towards investing, attracting, sometimes chasing, of course, in good sense of this word, potential investors from abroad.
Okay, thank you. I think that the Trump administration has pursued a very smart and certainly energetic policy in Central Asia. Really, for the first time since the early 90s, mid-90s, have we seen this much American interest. Although, of course, during the beginning of the Afghan war in 2001, there was also some interest. How does Kyrgyzstan currently view its relations and specifically its economic partnership with the United States? And what are the most promising areas for deeper cooperation between Washington and Bishkek?
We are extremely interested in deepening, strengthening our cooperation with the United States. As a Minister of Economy, my kind of main interest is doing everything to attract investment. Let them be foreign direct investment from US to the Kyrgyz Republic. What is going to give it to the country? Of course, number one, the direct effect is diversification of the Kyrgyz investment portfolio in the Kyrgyz economy. Alongside the finance capital, we are going to have entering the good advanced technologies. So from economic point of view, United States, they are of extreme interest of the country to get them on board in the Kyrgyz economy, to cooperate them on specific investment projects. We do have some ongoing negotiations with some private companies from US. We do have some institutions to facilitate, to stimulate this, say, business-to-business cooperation. Say, we do have kind of bilateral mechanisms to do so. This year in February, we hosted B5+1 forum that actually just was a kind of a platform for businesses from Central Asia country and economies and US potential investors, businesses, companies, officials to get together and discuss their plans. Sometimes the barriers they face to enter the Kyrgyz economy and the market.
We understood how important the B5+1 event in Bishkek was, which is why my colleague Andrew Deneri attended for us. Are there any specific projects with specific American firms you want to mention? Or you may not want to for proprietary reasons, but if you think it would be, if you're worth talking about, if you think it's worth making possible.
I would keep all the companies, all the potential investors at some kind of equal position,
Okay.
with no kind of highlighting or...
Fair enough, I understand that. Okay, I tried to get it,
but I may just enlist, areas or the sectors.
Right. Please.
We did have a good list of companies from pharmaceutical sector, road and transport infrastructure, mining sector, education, energy sector, the guys who are really interested in investing into the green and the renewable energy within the Kyrgyz Republic.
Bakyt, thank you. So, what impact has the Kremlin invasion of Ukraine had on the Kyrgyzstan economy, particularly in terms of trade, remittances, and financial flows?
Okay, the event itself impacted in many ways, direct and indirect. But it has been challenging because Russia remains our main trade partner, objectively. But anyways, alongside with the challenges, it also kind of led us to infer good lessons. The small open economy could manage resist such challenges if it is focused on improving its domestic economy, institutions, if it tries to diversify its trade partners, if it is focused on its surrounding, I would say. Due to this situation, not only the Kyrgyz Republic, but our neighboring countries from the region, Central Asian region, we could pay more attention and strengthen our intra-regional cooperation among us. So we had managed to strengthen our bilateral cooperation, tied our economic, kind of links to manage the event. I mean, the situation in Eastern Europe. The government, the cabinet of ministers, the central bank jointly adopted series of anti-crisis programs and measures that were implemented to keep the country, the economy itself manageable, to maintain high growth. But put it shortly, we just try to focus, concentrate on our economy, in the sense of we try to open more companies, more, pay even attention to certain sectors, industrial production, not only agriculture or mining. We try to fill some gap in imports via our domestic production.
Okay. This may be my toughest question for you. How is the government of Kyrgyzstan approaching compliance with sanctions on Russia?
I would say everything is being done to comply and not to circumvent or breach these sanctions. On the government level, we adopt regulations, rules, so that to enable or to control the companies, the banks, the financing sector works alongside, in compliance with the sanctions, so that to ensure our domestic financial and economic security, to minimize potential risks of being sanctioned or to experience, consequences of that sanctions. At the ministerial level, we also, at the Ministry of Economy and Trade, we introduced so-called export control mechanism. The central bank also adopted a series of instructions so that the banks, when operating, could be mindful of such risks. In overall, we are creating our institutional setting, rules and regulations to comply with the sanctions.
Okay, thank you. Central Asia lives in a tough part of the planet. Your neighbors are not easy. China today remains a major economic and a growing economic player in Central Asia. How would you characterize China's role in your economy today?
Around 40% of our trade goes to relations to trade with China. China is the number one trade partner of the country. It's very much active in terms of investing into the country, opening new firms and companies. It's our biggest neighbor. We do have a series of investment projects in common, targeted to resolve the issue of connectivity, transport connectivity, logistical. So I would characterize this relationship with China in these words, I would say. The greatest trading partner, neighbor, the biggest investor currently, China. It contributes quite substantially to the ongoing growth and developments within the economy. This is the matter of fact, I would say.
Well, they have a dynamic economy, that's for sure.
Exactly.
It's growing extraordinarily, and the international part of their economy is very important. Does your economic relationship with China in any way complicate your relationship with Moscow?
I'm not a politician, I would say.
Well,
I
the
am
economic
more-
relationship with Moscow.
So any economy's main goal is just to maximize profit and income, I would say. And as economists, we could always find or identify mutually or jointly beneficial solutions. So far, everything goes quite smoothly, I would say. We do see our role, the Kyrgyz Republic's role, as a part of Central Asian region, as a connecting area or connecting land region that stays in between China, Western Europe, and we should make use of it through better logistics, transportation options to connect these flows of trade in between these two great economic, centers. Russia has been objectively, fairly, historically our main partner, and we are not, how would I say, neglecting, or we pay, as economy, we pay great attention to the cooperation with Russia as well.
Okay. One aspect of Trump's policy in Central Asia, but beyond, I think has been very good, which is the focus on rare earth minerals and also critical minerals. Biden paid attention to this, but moved at a glacial pace. Trump is moving very quickly. You have critical and rare earths in Kyrgyzstan. How do you see your mining sector fitting into your development strategy and your relationship with the United States?
If I may use this opportunity to tell a couple of words about recently approved or adopted critical mineral strategy of the Kyrgyz Republic.
Perfect.
It was developed and adopted last year. Not so long has passed since that time. We do understand that we do have some deposits or items of critical minerals within the country, but we do also understand the need for the country to approach it economically, how would I say, as professionals. What I mean, the country's vision towards critical minerals is not to provide the deposits or the ore itself, as a kind of...
you want to develop it, you want to refine it.
Yeah, idea is just to gradually to retain the value chain within the country. To do so, there are around 5 areas of strategic initiatives. Starts with creating necessary infrastructure, includes energy, roads, to ease success to these deposits. The second area is doing something about the labor force, to even to manage supply of workers, qualified workers. This also imposes some, tasks to the education sector of the Kyrgyz Republic. Number 3 is purely investment relations around the critical minerals in between the Kyrgyz Republic and potential investors. Number 4, if I'm not mistaken, relates to the transparency. So idea is just to digitalize as much as possible the information, the data related to geological and related data to make it more accessible for international or foreign investor. But idea is just not to look or not to approach critical minerals as the kind of the raw material, but to manage, to stimulate, to motivate investors, to enabling keeping the value added within the country.
Okay, I'm not trying to pull out of you any trade secrets, but are you finding partners willing to do that, to invest in Bishkek, to develop that processing capability?
Yes, they are, I would say so, but I would refrain so far from disclosing commercial interest.
No, I understand that, but you may not want to answer this next question. Do you think we'll see this actually sometime in the next year or 2 or 3?
A couple of years, that's for sure.
You're sure?
That's for sure.
That's very positive.
I do apologize for not mentioning
you shouldn't.
The investment financial.
I know I'm trying to provoke you.
Financial infrastructure or environment. We are closely working with United Kingdom's UCAF fund, which is actually to promote exports of technology investment from UK. I mean, these things could be also created jointly with US as well, so that to enable even just provision of financial sources to that sector as well.
Another hypothetical question in this area, but not just. It's true, and this is a very positive development, that we're seeing much more cooperation and coordination in Central Asia on economic development as well as on other issues. Has there any thought been given to you might say, Central Asian-wide approach regarding the development of rare earth and critical minerals?
Good question, I would say. Me personally, I would think that yes, there is objective need to do so, to act in a cooperative, coordinated manner.
It would certainly increase your leverage as a country dealing with large firms, multinational firms.
We do meet regularly at related relevant forums and summits, say Minex and other things. I mean, events related to the topic itself. And put it shortly, yes, you are right. I would agree with you that we need more cooperative, more collaborative, coordinated steps and actions.
And let me ask you a very specific question, which I don't think is overly sensitive. China has been very active in Central Asia, and China likes, both with the Central Asian states, with states in Africa and so on, to host these summits where they are meeting with countries of a specific region. But at the same time, China likes to work deals individually with countries, as opposed to collectively with countries, because they feel it gives them greater leverage. Do you see this phenomenon in your relations and relations of your Central Asian colleagues with China? In other words, yes, you meet collectively, but then they want to deal with you individually.
My experience says that we do have more active, more this cooperation in between China and the Central Asia, because we do have a so-called Central Asia-China dialogue.
Correct.
We do have similar platforms with other countries, say US as well.
Right.
But China, Central Asia, this cooperation dialogue seems much more active in terms of number of adopted documents, signed agreements, and even the frequency of the meetings, and then the intensity of interaction.
Well, I certainly agree with that.
Within this framework.
I would like to reduce the gap between our relations with Central Asia and China's relations with Central Asia, just a personal point of view. Okay, which is actually be in your interest and Central Asia's interest. All right. Furthermore, in this general area, Kyrgyzstan is working with Uzbekistan and China on a railway connectivity project. Are there any plans for joint economic projects or development zones with other Central Asian countries that might help make the region even more attractive for foreign investors?
Yeah, I think the project itself does not kind of, its nature, I think its nature, the idea, the concept is avail other projects if they are economically meaningful, reasonable, they are okay to get connected because the Kyrgyz Republic sees in this investment and road project, first of all, as a branch of southern branch of middle corridor, I would say.
Right.
It opens up great opportunities for all three countries, which are the part of the road, I would say. We do possess great deposits of coal. That would also may increase the country's exports as well. It also raises or improves the role of the Kyrgyz Republic as a kind of transportation and logistic player within the region. But again, put it shortly, yes, I think other projects, other investment could take part in terms of connecting to the road. It's not kind of exclusive, it is not.
No, it makes sense. You want to pull more people in.
Yeah.
Well, actually, when do you expect this railroad project to actually be in operation?
We set quite ambitious deadlines for ourselves. It should not be longer than, say, 5 to 7 years from now.
Well, I hope you're right. That'd be wonderful.
The works are ongoing very much actively. So even the process of negotiation and agreeing upon the terms and conditions was quite, quick, fast, and very much productive. So now we do have, we can witness the physical, implementation. The civil works are ongoing.
And I assume this railroad, when connected, would be used both for transportation of passengers as well as goods?
Yes, exactly. And coming back to your question, we still are kind of in the process of consultation with other foreign investors, which are not Chinese ones, who are paying great attention to probably launch a similar road project within the country. And if implemented, getting it connected to this railroad.
Of course, that interconnectivity is key to economic growth. And I'll tell you this, you set that railroad up and you'll have these adventure travelers who could combine trips to China with trips to Central Asia. Going across the Karakoram Mountains would be pretty neat. Pretty neat. Okay, I think we've used up our time. Mr. Minister, it's been a great honor having you here. I hope it's not the last time you'll be with us. And I hope I didn't put you off too much with some of my questions.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.